I'm going to tell you the tale of two lovers whose bond shattered due to secrets they harbored, never to be reconciled. Or wait, no. They reunited in friendship over a common goal. Or was it love? Who knows? In tabletop games, anything is possible. If you haven't guessed, today I'm going to tell you a bit about a character I'm currently playing in the Dungeons & Dragons game, as well as my friend's characters, who's my character's ex-husband. I'll be drawing them both as well, and I decided to draw my character, a Siren for mermay, because mermaids and sirens are basically the same thing. They're pretty close. For those who don't know, mermay takes place in May, and it's a time where a bunch of artists create mermaid-themed art, so I decided to take part in it. Alright, let's begin. Dorian is a siren who lives in Anman, basically fantasy London, and comes from the Caimana family. The Caimanas are a military family. They're not old money, but their family has prestige. Dorian's mother, Lieutenant General Mira, heads a royal fleet for the crown. She took over from her father, Ian. No last name yet. Listen, I had to come up with a lot of names, and yes, I had to. It was important, but I will come up with a last name later. Anyway, Lieutenant General Mira was arranged to marry Lord Atlas Caimana, and together they had Mr. Morgan, Lady Tallulah, and me, the eldest, Lord Dorian. Let's give a quick rundown on how everyone gets along. There's my mom, Mira, a very blunt, strong leader. My dad, Atlas, who's more manipulative and cunning. My sister, Tallulah, who's very sweet and I always got along with greatly, and whose first season is at the start of the game. Someone's first season is when someone in Regency time is welcomed into society. I'm pretty sure only rich people get to do this, or at least they get a lot more fanfare. And then there's my younger brother, Morgan, the middle child. It's no secret I don't get along with him. I've been known to be a little soft in my decision-making, and my brother sees that as a weakness, and thinks I shouldn't inherit my family's title. Unbeknownst to me, he almost got that power. But we'll get into that later. Who knows what someone would be willing to do to get all that power, especially when they were so close, and it was ripped away from them. Anyway, let's get back what really matters. Romance! Okay, so Dorian met his future husband, my friend's character, Lord Augustus Amadeus Ambrosi Accardi III, at this gallery event held by an eccentric aristocrat. My friend was really having fun with alliteration. You'll see this with her other characters' names too. This gallery took place during my 4th season and Augustus's 7th. While we were there, we enjoyed making fun of the garish art together. When we met, my character was immediately drawn to Augustus. For lack of other words, he was hot. However, my character isn't the best in social interactions, preferring to be soft-spoken and constantly scrutinizing social interactions. So romance was out of the picture. Instead, they became friends, which was hugely possible because Augustus was so much more forward, while Dorian took things slow. It was Augustus's letter that resulted in Dorian first coming to his manor to spend time in their greenhouse. There, I met his younger brother Acacius and had awkward small talk with Augustus. But as letters exchanged and time passed, their relationship blossomed, and eventually they admitted they had feelings to each other. Our courtship was a whirlwind. We spent time together on the coast, walking along the shore and swimming in the water. Although my character didn't know it, Augustus was anxious about all the sea creatures and dirt touching him, so he swam with his shirt on. Not a problem for Dorian. Augustus' shirt clinging to his chest was a pleasant sight indeed. Both of our characters enjoyed the arts, Augustus often frequenting plays and enjoying art galleries, and Dorian enjoying drawing and painting, and as a siren loving to sing, but he's a little shy about that. During their time together, they shared their love of the arts, and their bond grew beyond themselves to their families. I became much closer to his younger twin siblings, Athanasia and Acacius. Athanasia loved to act in theatrical performance hosted at the manor, and her twin Acacius was much more shy and bookish. I was especially close with him. He enjoyed telling me about botany, and I think our complementary natures suited each other. There was Avidicus, the youngest baby boy, who was adorable, and Aurelius, the eldest. To be honest, my relationship with Aurelius wasn't very close. I didn't detect any malice, but he was the head of the household, always so busy and serious, and if I didn't need to subject myself to that scrutiny, why interact other than necessary? Our courtship changed us, as relationships so often do. I started to open up more, to be more carefree, and Augustus in turn tried to contain his party animal nature a bit. All this culminated in our marriage in my family's country house near the seaside. Augustus had fun leaning into the aquatic-themed marriage, and Dorian was happy to oblige. It was a splendid affair, family from far and wide attended. Although Augustus's request to have a party in the evening was denied by my parents, his reputation didn't sway their opinion. We made up for it for having a wild, welcoming house party. Being a big fan of grand gestures, Augustus gifted Dorian an aquatic garden and had a bedroom constructed that was partially submerged, knowing Dorian is very fond of water and used to living in a partially submerged home. The two of them moved in together, and Dorian began to take on great responsibilities, running a small town with Augustus, although Dorian took on more of that work. Dorian was also expected to take over as the head after Aurelius passed. While Augustus might have been the more obvious choice, he didn't have much of a mind for business, and Dorian was considered more responsible. What a lovely ending to a wonderful story. If only that was the end. Rumors shrouded our split, whispers of infidelity. But one clear thing that chipped away at our bond was secrets. They haunted our relationship from the moment we moved in. That became clear. Sharing living quarters brought this reality to light. Eventually, fissures grew in our relationships, growing into gaping cracks, and eventually, it shattered, ending our whirlwind relationship. Or did it? Now we're at the part where the game actually started. We're both on the marriage mark. This time, I don't take my time. I'm anxious to find a partner. I was lucky my parents didn't seek to arrange my marriage, but now I failed them. I meet wonderful people. Another player character who's a vampire by the name of Lady Mallory. Being the not at all smooth guy, I fumble any attempts at a romantic relationship, but I do gain a strong ally and friend. Lady Mallory is a detective, and this game isn't just about romance. It's also about intrigue and mystery. That we'll save for another day. I start to have quite a successful romance with Lady Laura, a pixie. Even a character with -2 charisma can roll some nat 20s now and then, and I was lucky. Things seemed clear to me. This was the woman I was going to be with. But then I met Lady Karina, a writer and incredibly intelligent woman. There's also the matter of another PC, Mr. Smudge, who, through some misunderstandings, has become infatuated with my character, regardless of them knowing my disinterest. Although Dorian doesn't know the depth of their interest, there was a really funny scene where Mr. Smudge also almost proposed to someone because they were trying to convince themselves that they loved the person so much so they could ignore their true feelings for my character. It was really well done, and I couldn't stop laughing the whole time. At this point, Dorian's relationship with Augustus wasn't at its best. Augustus tried to talk to Dorian at the first ball of the season, but Dorian refused to interact, scanning the room for an exit and finding one in Lady Laura, who was looking to exit a conversation of her own with an overeager Frog Duke. Our second interaction was explosive. Augustus approached me at a gallery event, which was fitting. I noticed he seemed upset, and we moved to a more private area in the gallery, but there were still some people. I attempted to find out what was wrong, only to be rebuffed. To be honest, the moment was a blur. I think I remember him asking why I care, and it ended with me being goaded into a screaming match by Augustus's barbed tongue. Each of us belittling each other until I stormed away in a huff, only for him to call after me yelling, "Farewell, Songbird," once a term of affection he used for me now feels like a bludgeon intended to embarrass me. Now Dorian has his choice between Lady Laura and Lady Karina. He can't fail again. During all this, he learned his brother was making shady moves. Tallulah told him she heard Morgan discussing how to secure weapons without the Crown's notice during a ball. And Dorian doesn't do the best job hiding his fear. During all this, a gift is sent to Dorian anonymously after a ball. In Regency time, flowers and gifts would be sent after each event in the season to a romantic interest or even friends. So the gift came in with all the other flowers and items given to Dorian's siblings and himself. The gift was a music box carved ornately with a swan inside. As you cranked the music box, the bird would swim around in its lake, and it played the song, "Was It a Dream?" For the rest of the day, he agonized over what it could be while thinking of his brother's possible machinations. Dorian takes the gift to his friend, Lady Mallory's house. He walks in and immediately talks about his brother's schemes and thought maybe the music box could be a message related to that. He likely should have told Lady Mallory he was going to discuss such sensitive information, after which Lady Mallory confirmed no one was listening and questioned my character. I won't go into the questions today. If you guys want to follow up focused on my character's relationship with his brother and Lady Mallory, and Ratouinette, Lady Mallory's pet, helping discover the truth and uncover all those secrets, like, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Anyway, during this questioning, I made an insight roll to know anything about the identity of the sender through the music. I already rolled to know the identity of the sender and got too low, but this time I remembered something. My DM said something like, "Well, it's a bird." Then I remembered. Songbird, the nickname my ex-husband had for me. He had to be the sender, I thought. But I wasn't quite sure. Could the same person who said such harsh words with an amused smile be trying to reconcile? If I wanted to know, I'd have to be a little reckless. And I had to know. I needed a match that lasted. And to do that, I needed to clear my mind of any illusions. So what will happen to the lovers, to my brother's schemes, to any and all of the characters I mentioned? To learn, I encourage you to subscribe, like, and let me know in the comments again. Again, I really hope you like this video, and if you want to see more of my art, you should check out designing my own Misfit Baldur's Gate crew or drawing anime food like Delicious and Dungeon. And if you want to show some extra support, consider joining my Patreon. You'll get access to high-resolution PNGs of behind-the-scene art, time-lapses of said art, your name at the end of new videos, and more. Speaking of, it's time to thank my spooky and salty patron. You help keep my cursed Siren guests well attended to with assortments of salty snacks. With that, I will retire to my corpse-like slumber. Until next time, bye. Well, I don't know how I got here. Might as well do an animation challenge. If you haven't heard what Drawfee is, it's an art channel run by 4 artists who create amazing designs. In one video, they made a member named Karina drew these characters called Spoon, and it sparked an idea for an animation short. I also decided it would be a 48-hour animation challenge spurred on by hearing other artists on YouTube talk about doing animation time challenges when in college. But since I didn't go to an animation school for my degree, I didn't get to do that. Yes, I did take some courses at SVA, but no, we didn't do that, and I want to change that with a 48-hour Drawfee animation challenge.